sometimes you need quantity time to have quality time because the hard questions, the hard situations will pop up randomly.
It is hard. It is really hard. It does create more work for mom to homeschool. It does create more work for mom to have all of her kids in the same room. But these are the things that allow us to work with our kids together and help teach them. Because if they're in a classroom, you could have the greatest teacher in the whole world who genuinely loves your kids, but she cannot teach your child how to get along with every other child in the classroom or how to get along with their siblings. That's our job. That's our job as mom and dad, is to teach our kids how to do those things. And homeschooling provides that opportunity for us that I think is so missed. I recently, this was a couple months ago, I saw somebody, put I think it was a tweet or something like that. I don't know. I don't look on Twitter, but I saw it on Facebook. Some message on some social media. Someone said, when you homeschool your kids, you get an additional 1,000 hours with them per year. So we would lose 1,000 hours with our kids every year if they weren't home with us. That's 1,000 hours of training our kids' hearts, training them to get along with one another. I mean, you think about that, that's a lot of time that we have to build character, to teach them how to love each other, to teach them what God's word says about loving one another, to help them understand each other's uniqueness. And I appreciate that you talk about that too, because they are so different. I, of course, with having two, I have an introvert and I have an extrovert. My introvert, she loves to be around people sometimes, but if she's around too many people for too long, she'll just retreat and she'll tell us. I mean, she's like, I need to be by myself for a little bit. And then my extrovert's like knocking on her door. She's do you want to build a snowman? She wants someone to come out and play with her and talk to her and just be around her because she's my extrovert. And so my girls are now at the age where they understand each other. My youngest understands that her sister needs to have some quiet time sometimes. And, my oldest understands that her sister sometimes needs sister time. And so it's tough though. It's a tough thing to teach kids because it's hard to understand how other people think when you don't think that way. Like you said, I'm an extrovert. And so I have a hard time understanding introverts. Like, why don't you want to come out and be with me? Why don't you want to be around lots and lots of people? It's weird to me.
Yeah.
It's fun. The more, the merrier. It's great.
Well, and you touched on something with the time. I think that this is an important part too. A lot of parents will try to have quality time with their kids and they'll set up date nights and whatever, which are great. I'm not saying that don't do that. Do that. That's really fun.
Sure.
But sometimes you need quantity time to have quality time because the hard questions, the hard situations will pop up randomly. I tried once taking one of my sons on a date. We went to, get a cup of coffee and he was young. This was like preteen. And I'm like, okay, let's talk about stuff. And he's looking at me like,
what do you want me to talk about?
Yeah, but 11 o'clock at night, or 10 o'clock at night, I'm ready to go to bed. And he's like, hey, Mom, can we talk about, something super important? When we have quantity time, like that extra 1,000 hours you're talking about, it gives us more opportunities to hit those quality moments because they will organically happen. You might be studying, I don't know, the war. It's one of the world wars or something, or something and they'll ask a really hard question. And as a homeschooler with that time, we can say, instead of saying, oh, we got to get through this chapter because we got to get to the test by the end of the week or whatever, we can say, that's an important question. Let's talk about it. Book away. Let's talk. And that's where some of the richest conversations will come, include engaging all the family that way or the siblings. So time is really a part of that. And it's a blessing. I understand that not everybody can homeschool all their kids. Sure. And I'm not saying you can still do that, but look for those time opportunities because that's where some of this conversation, some of the character building, a lot of people are stressed about getting all those academics in because, their kids have to get a good job and make money to be millionaires or whatever it is. But that employers are looking for people with character. They can train skills. They can't train character.
Right.
That's our job, like you were saying. That's the parent's job. We have the time. We have the teaching moments. Even a teacher in a school can't train character like a parent can. So, and that is one of the biggest, I think one of the most important, I would call it academic skills that your children need. Hardworking, punctual, responsible, all of these character traits that will help them as leaders of households, as workers, our homeschoolers are wanted. They are wanted by people out there because they see the character and they can't train character. So
and the reason they can't train, others can't train it like we can, is because others don't know our kids the way that we know them. We know our kids better than anyone else, their flaws, their weaknesses, their strengths, all the things. We know them better than anyone, and we love them more than anyone. And so we pay attention to what's going on in them. And sometimes my girls, it's really funny. Oftentimes I'll say something, they'll be sad about something, or maybe even happy about something, and I'll tell them what they're thinking. And still they're like, how did you know? I'm like, because I know you, and I can tell the expression on your face, and I know what's happening, in your mind. And so I love that I know my girls that well. Homeschool Insights is sponsored by CTC Math. If you're looking for a great online math program, visit ctcmath.com and try it for free. For more great homeschool inspiration and resources, listen to the Schoolhouse Rocked podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.